Hey guys, today I'm doing some chain case services on some Ski-Doo Summits, and I thought I'd show you how. So today we're doing it on this 2026 Summit 850 Adrenaline. But this goes for all Gen 5 Summits. The turbo ones are slightly different. Pretty much Gen 4s are the same with backcountries, things like that. They're all pretty similar, so pretty easy process. As far as tools go, you need a 10 mil socket. You need a T40. Got that right there. And you need a T25. So pretty simple, and something to twist them with, you know what I mean? Also helps to have pliers, helps to have this spring puller for the exhaust. I'm gonna use this ratchet and this impact for it, and then a couple screwdrivers as well. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver if you're doing it for the first time, like if it's a new sled or something like that. So, yeah. So first step, I'm gonna show you guys how to do it the right way. You can actually take these bolts off there and like pry it out and get it to drain, but that's bad for it, and I want to inspect the inside of the chain case while we're at it. So we're gonna do it the right way. Take off a few covers. It takes like 5 minutes to get it off, so really it's easy. So we're gonna take this side cover off here, do this clip, this one, and this one, and then just kind of grab it from under here, pull it, and it comes off. Usually I unplug this right here since we're gonna take the can out, because we're going to, there's a couple bolts behind there we need to get to. Okay, on the front of the sled here, we got our T25, and we're gonna take this one out. And this one out, they're just right below the headlights. Pretty easy to notice. Okay. Okay, the other two T25s you want to find are actually under here. Right now we're working on getting this front clip off. And the other two, to get it off, you just push that forward. If you have these vents, they're gonna get in the way. These are the extra durable vents, but just kind of wiggle it out. And then it's this one and that one. Okay, got those out. And then while you're in here, you'll undo these two connectors. You just press the button down with your thumb. If it's an older machine, you might need a screwdriver or something to press it, because the plastics slowly rot, but it's not too bad. Next, you're gonna wanna open this door right here. And this screw right here, this is part of the air box. You wanna undo that screw, because that's where it clamps into this front clip. So you won't be able to get out that front clip if you don't undo this screw. So you don't need to undo it all the way. You don't have to take that band clamp off. You just need to undo it a few screws and then put your finger in. Wiggle it around a little. I think we need it a little bit looser. Okay, see it's moving now? Usually that's loose enough. Just kind of get it moving. You'll keep this open. If you want, you can take it off, get it out of the way, but I usually just keep it on hanging like that. So next bit, you need 2 hands for. I'm gonna try it with one so I can film, but all you gotta do is you can grab in here, or you can grab right here. I grab right here. You just give it a yank backwards, and then simply just pull it off. It's super easy. So, like I said, it's totally worth it to take it all off. That way you can check spark plugs while you're in here, do just inspection on your sled before you summarize it. Usually people do this before summertime, so yeah. So next up, these few bolts, you still can't get in there with this in the way, so for this cover, you just pull it right off like that, set it aside, and then if this job has been done before, I'll show you. There's this little, I guess, washer on here that keeps this heat shield in there. Usually I just grab pliers and kind of twist and pry at it to get it off. Got that off. You can see it's loose now. So next, to take this muffler off, or the can, whatever you want to call it, grab these clips. Careful, they're kind of sharp, and just pull them up like that. Then there's fiberglass in here, so be careful. Try not to touch it. Just put it aside. Then we got these springs here. That's where that spring puller comes in handy. So just kind of get it. There's this hook on the end that you just do that and pull it off. Hard to do this one-handed while holding my camera, but yeah, there's nothing to it. See, we got it clipped on there. Kind of put your body weight into it. Do that. You can also use a screwdriver, like a long screwdriver to do it or something, but it's easiest to do that with the designated tool. Okay, so we got that off. This is unplugged. That shield's out of the way. There's this 10 mil in here that we need to unscrew now. Okay, we got our 10 mil on the drill here. Let's put that down there. On that bolt there. There we go. Unscrew that. So I've found when I just keep it loose in there and I go to pull this up, the spring compresses and it shoots the spring in that bolt somewhere into the engine bay, and it's kind of a pain. So try and pull that out beforehand if you can and set it aside. Little tip on not how to lose some hardware. So yeah, now down there's a little grommet, then there's the same one on the other side. Can't really see it on camera, so you just want to pull out like that and pull directly up. And then just gotta finagle it out like that. There we go. This comes right out. And here we go. Now our chain case cover is exposed. And we can get to work. First up, we already have the 10 mil on here, so we're just gonna go ahead and unscrew this bolt that hooks the running board bracket to the chain case, just for support. If you forget to do that, when you go to stand on your sled, this is gonna flex a lot and it'll feel wrong. So remember to put that back in. Okay, then after that, I'm gonna go all the way around and unscrew all of these. All of them are the same size, except this bottom one right here. There's a little hole to access it. This bottom one is longer, so set that one kind of aside from the stack, since it will, it has to go in there. So, and then there's two T40s. This center one here, on new sleds, it's really hard to get off. It's got Loctite on it, and then same with this one right there on the right side. So don't forget those, they're kind of camouflaged, hard to notice. Okay, this breather tube, you can also use as a fill port. So before I pop the chain case off, I like to pry that off, get it out of the way. Then we double checked all our bolts along the perimeter are out. This one's out, and same with these two. So we're good to pull this off. Sometimes it gets stuck, and a little trick for that is to step on the running board here. That gets that bracket out of the way. Then we're able to kind of just set it to the side like that. You can unhook this if you like. You don't need to. That exposes our chain case. This sled only has 500 miles on it, so not surprisingly, there's nothing really worn out in here or anything like that. I should have got this debris out of the way first. When we put it back together, we're gonna have to make sure none of these twigs get between the gap there. You can check your chain tension. This one feels a little bit loose. And while I'm in here, I'll show you guys how to adjust that as well. Okay, so for tension, here's our tensioner right here. You'll follow this bolt right through, peek on the other side here, and that's how we do it. So you'll pull this pin out, and I just use a T25 screwdriver to do this part. So I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not sure the torque spec, but I've done this on all of my rental sleds for the past couple of years, and kind of know it by thumb now, you know what I mean? So I just loosen it, and then till it's loose again, then tighten it until it's hard to do with your fingers. That's what I do. Not great, I know, but it's all right. So when you're putting it back on, it's easy for this to fall on the right side of this bracket. You want it to go to the left side of this bracket. So kind of keep that in mind when you're throwing this back on there. I'm gonna use my step method, get it out of the way a bit. There we go, kind of falls into place nicely there. Make sure this doesn't come unplugged, and we're dialed right there. So first I'm gonna put this one in. Sometimes it gets a little out of whack, and it's easiest to line up when there's nothing else attached in there. And I'm just gonna get it loosely in there, so. Okay, once you've confirmed all the bolts around the perimeter are tightened down, this one and this one are tightened down, then you're good to add the oil. I use this. I'll be honest, it's not terribly important what oil you use. It's a chain case, it just needs to be lubricated. So I use this, and I use 12 ounces of it. So we're just above 12 ounces because this stuff is so thick that it sticks to the measuring cup when you pour it. So I do a little bit extra usually. And now you just pour it in the funnel. Kind of got to finagle the funnel so it goes around that bolt, but it's pretty easy. So yeah, I'm gonna pour that, hopefully without spilling on camera. So yeah, you just pour it in. Nothing crazy, just like an oil change on a car. Well, I spilled on camera, but that's okay. I'm gonna add the last ounce that spilled off camera, but yeah, that's how you fill it. Okay, so we added our oil. Now you just grab your cap. Don't forget this step or else it'll spill when you're riding. And just a little grommet style that you kind of get started on one side. You just got the top, you gotta push it pretty hard. And there we go, there you are. Make sure that hose stays plugged in. And then we're pretty much good to start assembling back together now. Starting with the muffler. So with that, rotate it out so you can see. These two little grommets slip on to these two pegs right in there. Then after that, it kind of just falls into place. Also, when you're doing it, you want to make sure this is pushed up. Sometimes it can push down and it won't slide in place, so make sure that's pushed all the way up. Usually, I line up the right one first, depending on the day. There we go. And then that just kind of slides over like that while you're simultaneously lining up this flange. So a few different things to focus on, but it's not too bad. At this point, before I attach these, before I do anything, grab your fastener there and pop it in here. Reason being is because it's kind of hard to line the two up when these springs are done up. So I like to have as much wiggle room as possible. Get that dropped in there beforehand. So it's dropped in there now, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw the springs on, then do that up in a little bit here. So, but before I do the springs, we're gonna throw in our cover here. The hole goes on the top right there, so that's how it's oriented. It kind of slides right on. Shimmy it down, and that goes there. We're gonna forget about that clip. Doesn't matter. The exhaust holds it in. There's Velcro down there that holds it in place. And then this goes on after we put those on. But first, the springs. And then our clips. I use my fingers to kind of separate it. There's one. There's two. Now, super important step that's really easy to forget is this harness right here. We gotta make sure we plug it back into the harness there, or else you will get a check engine light. Ask me how I know. Okay, that's it for kind of exhaust stuff, things like that. Remember to zip that down when everything's together. Don't have to go too tight with it. Just till that. Then this other cover goes like that. I got it flipped around just to show you what all you have to do to get it in there. It can be kind of challenging at first, but there's two clips here. This is the very front, by the way. And those go into these. So you kind of get it like 2 inches before you slide it on, get it inside there, get it inside there, then you can push it forward. Same deal with these guys. These are kind of right where your heated hand grip controls are, things like that, where the key goes. Those will slip in right there and right there. So make sure you have your key out of the way, nothing in the way up here. I've had success doing it with this cover on, but taking it off is a little bit easier. I'm gonna keep it on today though. And then finally, you gotta line that air box up to receive this right here. That's what we loosened earlier to get it off. Put it up and over like this. It's still hanging this way, which is good. Where these arrows are where your clips are. So I kind of get my fingers in, push them in like that, and push them in a little bit so they're not springing out. Then I focus up here to these ones. If you not take this side off, you're gonna pull this out to get it under. And then you just kind of pull the front end forward. It snatches in the inside part, and then it's on. Before you do up any of the bolts, you want to make sure it's just kind of in place, ready to go, snugged up. One way to tell that it's up high enough is you can see through these bolt holes and see the clip inside where you screw those in. It's kind of what I look at when I do it. Okay, so I got all my bolts on, everything like that. I'm gonna get in here now and tighten this screw up right here, which is our airbox connector to the, connects us to the front clip up to where these vents are. So just tighten that up. That way you're not getting any moisture in when you go riding again. Okay, close this cover up. Remember, if you want your screen to work, you gotta plug these in. Boom, boom. This cover goes like that. Then you'll pull it towards you. Clicked in place. Airbox covers, or vents, whatever you want to call them. Just kind of press them in, get them clicked into place. There we go. Okay, next up, we just got to put this side cover on, the side panel. So I'm getting one last peek, making sure everything is done right. Start with these two little guys. They go on those grooves right there. Like that. And I'm pivoting this up. And I'm looking here, making sure these clips are peeking through there. You want to go right here and push that in. Then you want to come up here, get these two lined up. Just push it over like that. Boom. Boom. Kind of looking over, we're looking good. Then you just kind of use these two rubber straps and secure that down. Okay, there we go. So that's about everything. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate it. And comment down if you have any questions or extra tips. We'll see ya.